Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, everybody? I just want to thank you all for checking out my studio production video today. You know what time it is, the place where all gamers' voices are heard, and your boy Jay is dropping that word. So man, I had to do it. If any of those fanboys out there was talking that Digital Foundry is some Microsoft paid off fanboys now, please, you need to shut up. You need to stop, because I'm speaking to the recent video that just came out on Digital Foundry on comparison to the comparison to the PC version of Forza 7 to GT Sport, the exclusive for the PlayStation 4. Okay, so they did this comparison, and I just wanted to basically talk about it because I'm seeing, man, just the fanboys are losing their mind, man. It's interesting to me, but it's also funny because I'm gonna go ahead and break down the whole thing and break down why this is a bad thing for the industry moving forward. I'm gonna start with the fact that the funny thing here is this is now being compared to PC. It's not compared to the X, so the X still has some time. Once it comes out, then there will be I'm sure a comparison on that. But you got fanboys out here acting as if this is a comparison to the X, and also just not really paying attention to the video. If you pay attention to the video, you'll see that the fundamental differences was very clear. It was the choice of lighting, and it was some of the texture choices that was used. And the differences was when it comes to GTA Sport. GTA Sport has a lot less content, a lot less games. A lot less content, a lot less cars. So they picked and choose where they wanted to put their detail because of that, and a lot of that went into making a shiny more glossier look on the cars, which is great. And also, they don't have dynamic weather, so when it comes to some of the darker effects, they put a lot of effort into that because you have to pick and choose what you want the weather to be. It's not dynamic. It doesn't dynamically change. So when it comes to them developing for that, it was a lot easier for them to pick and choose where they wanted to put that detail. And that's where the differences really was. It's really about, well, they have a lot less cars, so they picked and choose where they wanted to put certain detail. And when it comes to Forza 7 is just a overall detailed game. Overall, for all the cars that you not only going to have on stream, for all of the content that you have, both online and offline, and all the cars that you got, it's spectacular for the level of detail that they did. So it being matched up with Forza, it being matched with GT Sport, which has a lot less cars, a lot less content, and the differences came down to the lighting that they choose to use and some of the texturing that they choose to use because they had a lot less content and they could focus their attention directly on certain points. So that's what a lot of what you were seeing in Digital Foundry. And I'm gonna go ahead and link that video into the description. Pay attention and look. You'll see the two biggest differences are lighting. A lot of that has to do with lighting, okay, on the PC and how they chose to use the lighting, and also just where they chose to put certain details, because Forza 7 is a game that's all around. It has great detail, but it has so much more content. It has to be spread in overall, as well as it had a lot shorter of a development time to create all this content in this game, you think about the development time when it comes to Turn 10 by comparison to development time when it comes to GT Sport. I mean, GT Sport's been in development damn near a decade, man. It's like the comparisons on the development time is ridiculous. They had to do all that content within such a short time. You have GT Sport that comes out with way less content, but they spent so much more years on development time. So yeah, you think about it, just in the development time alone, you would think, yeah, and with the shortage of cars, yeah, you would think that they would put some shiny detail on the cars. Now, here's what's sad. Now, the sad fact about this is that this comparison that Digital Foundry is making, and where I have a problem with it is, and this is the reason why I say about when it comes to the fanboys, please don't sit there and act like Digital Foundry is somehow all of a sudden just friendly with Xbox. No, they're excited about the technology of what the X can do. But don't get delusional and think that they're all of a sudden Xbox fanboys. Oh no. You look at what they did here. This comparison had nothing to do with how good or how bad any of these games were. That had nothing to do with it. It was just solely just looking at the technical aspects of the graphical choices and the lighting choices and all the detail choices. That's all they were looking at. Okay, but the fact is that they start out the video talking. This is a PC comparison. Has nothing to do with what the X actually is going to render on screen and what's going to actually the final product of what the X is going to look like. Okay, but they started out talking about, oh, well, this is on PC settings comfortable to what the X would most likely be. So yeah, and my thing is, if this is an X version, I mean, this is a PC version, why would you even say that? You think about it. You think about Digital Foundry even bringing that up. That you would just put it. You would just put it that this is the PC version on max settings, high-end PC on max settings. You know, cranked up all the way. That's what you would do. You would just show. You would analyze it for what the best of what the PC can offer for Forza 7. That would be a true comparison, and that would be a true analysis, right? What does X have to even do with that equation other than you know, because these guys won't say that the X is actually equivalent to what a high-end PC is on all max settings, right? Of course, it's a fixed box. It wouldn't be that. So why would you make a comparison video and then say this is comfortable to what X would be PC on high settings? Like you know, but they mentioned that just for fanboy affair, you know, because you got all these fanboys acting like this is a comparison to what the X actually is, and it's actually not. This is a comparison to the PC. This analysis is only done on a PC version, not the X version. So you can see what they're doing there. You can see them even saying that, knowing damn well this is not the X version, and knowing damn well that's not an actual comparison, because you would have to actually be playing this, rendering this on the actual Xbox X, and it's not out yet, so we don't know how actually it's going to look for sure when it comes to the final code, what the retail version of what the game is going to look like and be. No one knows that. Digital Foundry doesn't know that yet. So to say that is just fanboy affair. It's obvious that, yeah, they've been getting a lot of hate from PlayStation fanboys, and now they're trying to do a little you know, PS4 fanboy service. That's all that's about. So, you know, when anyone think that, you know, oh, you know, that it's not, you know, they're Xbox fanboy, oh, get out of here. No, stop it. No. So, and that's what we always had a problem with, is never their analysis. Their analysis is fine. Have a problem with their personal opinions. So, oh boy, throwing that in there in the first is that's just some fanboy affair. And when it comes to Forza 7, it's just a more overall game, which beautiful, stunning graphics and stunning gameplay and loads of content, loads of cars, loads of different modes. It's overall. And this is bared out in the ratings of the games. If you look at two of the ratings of the games, GT Sport didn't do well for a lot of different reasons that were a lot of it all connected to lack of content and lack of a single player offline mode, things of this nature, lack of cars. So I think that's pretty definitive, right? Those are facts. That's pretty definitive. So what's funny to me is to see a lot of these fanboys talking about, oh, well, this is so great in GTA Sport beats Forza hands down. Like, okay, what's funny to me is, weren't you guys the ones that were talking about loving single player games or loving, and remember back in the day when always online only was like the plague. So I don't know how do you get a game that has no offline component, it's online only, and it doesn't have any single player campaign offline that you can play, and you think that's the greatest racer since sliced bread. Where are your principles? But that tells you they don't have any principles. It's not about that. All it's about is just look at me. It's fashion. Look at me. Look what I got. Mine's shinier than yours. Look, I popped my collar and I look better than you. That's all it's about. It's not about content. It's not about substance. And this brings me to my next really danger with this thing. You see this a lot. A good example of this is in Destiny 2. If you look at Destiny 2, it's basically the Kardashians of first-person shooters. It just looks all shiny and looks good, but there's no content there. Not a cent in her head, but looks good. It's like that's what you're getting here. You're getting the Paris Hilton of and Kim Kardashian of games. You know what I mean? And the problem with that is that tells developers that, hey, we don't need to really put out any real content. All we need to do is just make a game that looks pretty. And that's a problem, man. That's not a message that we want to put out there into the gaming industry. That, this is the reason why we're getting companies like EA and Activision doing what they're doing. Because they think, hey, we could all we have to do is stuff a bunch of, make a bunch of pretty aesthetic stuff and costumes and stuff and throw that out there and they'll just buy it. It just looks pretty. That's all we need. We don't need the content. We don't need substance. All we just need to do is make everything look pretty, throw a bunch of pretty, costumes and stuff out there and a bunch of stuff that you can buy and you gonna buy it. And that's the danger of this, man, because when you have a segment of gamers who is not going to stick up to principle and say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, it may have some better lighting and that's nice and all that. And the cars look shinier. But, hey, man, this damn thing has online only. What the hell? Where's my single player campaign? Where's me playing offline? This damn thing has a real shortage of content when it comes to cars. I'm not happy with that. Where are the Sony gamers coming out and saying that? The fact is, those are the facts. You need to speak up for them. Because the thing is that you shouldn't be rewarding a developer or any company for giving you a lack of content and also putting you under the bullshit constraints of you have to have the game online only and not even have any avenue of a single player, especially in a racer game. Come on, man. I mean, really? I just, the funny thing to me is when it comes to those things that a lot of these Sony fanboys holler about all the time, having single player and it being a game you can play offline, they're not with this online only. It's crickets when it comes to GT Sport. Come on, man. You got to have principles. You got to stick up for it. And I don't expect the fanboys to do it, but I expect the PlayStation guys who are not fanboys, they're gamers, and they're out there to speak up against this, man, because the thing is that with GT Sport, you're getting overall less content, you're getting less cars, and you're getting the online only forcing you to play online. If you don't have online, you're just screwed. Those are things that when it came to even the gaming media marked that game down for. As and I know it's a tendency for you guys to try to get a win anywhere you can, but really you only lose when you don't call out things that are wrong on when it comes to your games coming out. because that's the only way you're going to help developers understand that this is something that you don't want to see the next time. You don't want to start the trend where developers just think that's okay, because guess what, they're doing this with, it could be GTA Sport today, the next time it could be the next Horizon Dawn, or The Last of Us 2. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand that this sets the stage for what developers and hardware manufacturers are going to look to for the future. And if we're not calling this out now as gamers, you're going to get less and less of a viable game moving forward. We're going to see more of this. It's the same thing with these microtransactions. If we don't stand up against EA and Activision doing this to our games, do you think we're going to get less of it or more of it? And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on this Forza thing, this Forza and GT Sport thing. I'm at, where's the content at? Where's the substance at? What is overall? You know what I mean? And so I just want to go ahead and do this video on this, man. You guys can go ahead and hit me up in this in the comment box. Tell me guys what you think. Until the next time. This is Jay. I'm always keeping it real, and I'm gone.